everybody. Welcome to Table Talk, a place for honest conversations and getting to meet friends. I'm Betsy Thompson, and I am so excited to be here with my sweet friend, Hannah Jones.
Hello.
Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
It's always super fun to get to hang out with Hannah. And you've done this with me a few times.
I think I might have been among the first.
You probably, whenever back in COVID days when we did this, not this professionally, it wasn't this nice, but it was fun. And so you've got to hang out with me chatting about things before. So thanks for coming and hanging out again. Just in case, because we know so many people are watching and listening and they don't know you. They might have seen you in the hallways or seen you do different things, but they might not know you. So just share your family with us a little bit. Who are all your people?
All right. So I am married to Daniel. He plays the keyboard on Sunday mornings.
Yes.
He's been doing that.
He's the guy that sneaks out at the end of the service and starts playing.
And he has a lot of funny stories of doing things incorrectly.
Coming out at the wrong time.
Yes,
I'm sure.
Or too late, all the different things.
Funny.
Yes. He's been playing up there since he was 19, so a long time. We have 4 kids, from almost 4 to almost 11, and we homeschool and are plugged into just about every area of Sagemont that you can get plugged into.
They are super involved, precious children. You and Daniel are doing a great job raising your kiddos. I can't believe they're 11.
I know.
It's wild. Okay, so tell me, where did you grow up?
Mm-hmm. So I'm from Weatherford, which is west of Fort Worth.
Okay, and the fun thing that I know about you that some people might not, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
So I'm right in the middle of 6. I have 2 older sisters, a younger brother, and 2 younger sisters.
So fun. Huh. That's really cool. And then can we say what your dad does?
Sure. My dad is a state senator.
Super cool.
So he was state representative for 22 years.
Yeah.
And this is his first year as senator, which if you follow Texas politics at all, it's been a very interesting year because the Senate served as the jury for a recent impeachment trial.
Interesting.
And so he really got to experience all aspects of politics this year.
So much. That's so cool. I think I love little tidbits of interesting things about people.
And I just feel like that is the most normal thing because it's all I know. And I forget that it amazes people sometimes.
Right. You're like, there aren't that many people in Texas that do that. So that's really, really cool. I love that. So how did you end up in Houston at Sagemont?
So my college roommate grew up going to Sagemont Youth Group.
Okay.
And
where'd you go to school?
Ouachita Baptist University in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I was going to be in her wedding, which was going to be in the Houston area. And at that time, I had, on a very short notice, decided to be a teacher.
Yes.
And so finding a teaching job was a little hard. That close to the beginning of the school year, summer was almost over. And I thought, well, I'm going down there for that wedding. I guess I'll go ahead and look around the schools there. And got hired right away. And I met Daniel at that wedding.
Okay.
And when about a week later, I told him where I was going to interview, and he said, that school's right across the street from my house. So the rest is history.
Funny.
I moved here. He invited me to Sagemont, and
that's awesome.
Here we are.
How long did y'all date before you got married?
Right at a year.
Okay.
There was a tiny breakup for a short period of time in there, but we don't really talk about that often.
It's okay. It's usually when we grow the most.
Yes.
Figure the things out. How long have y'all been married?
Almost 14 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
I love it. And he is the choir director at Pasadena Memorial, right?
Okay. He's choir director, and he teaches piano lessons, and he plays here on stage, all the things.
All the things. And just for some of you that have been at Sagemont a really long time, Daniel is the oldest
of 8.
Of 8 in the Jones family here at Sagemont.
Yes.
And so you just fit right in.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. We love having you here. So have y'all been here all 14 years?
Yes.
Okay.
So he started coming in I think junior high.
Okay.
And when I moved here, he invited me to Sagemont. I loved it. And this is the only church I've ever attended here in the Houston area. So,
I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. And so you've been here, you've been serving. Tell us just, tell us about your relationship with the Lord. You grew up in a Christian home.
I did, yes.
Which I heard this thing the other day that sometimes people say, well, I grew up in a Christian home. I kind of have a boring testimony. And I heard this preacher talking about how you should celebrate growing up in a Christian home because of the legacy.
Absolutely.
You look in scripture at whenever they say this person, the child of this person, the child of this person. It's like, if you can look back and go, my parents and my grandparents and my the joy of getting to say, huge blessing to get to grow up in a Christian home.
And I completely agree with that. I think sometimes the trap we fall into for those of us that did grow up in a Christian home is it was all we ever knew. And I know for me personally, I had this memory of around age 5 being on my parents' front porch and my oldest sister saying, you're going to burn in the lake of fire, right? And so in that moment, I asked Jesus into my heart. And but growing up in a Christian home, that's just kind of what you did.
Right.
When I was 14 at Pine Cove Christian Camps, I remember sitting in a room on the last night of camp, looking at all of these counselors worshiping with their hands in the air and people crying. And it was just such an intimate moment. And I remember in that moment, I knew that what I had was not the same thing.
Yeah.
And, whether or not I was already saved is not the point, because in that moment, I began a relationship with the Lord. And that's when my faith of my family really became my own. And God was just so generous to me in that same season of life. He brought a woman into my life who reached out and wanted to disciple me. And I was, 14, and she ended up discipling me all the way through the end of high school and into the college years. And to this day, she's still someone very much in my life. And I can reach out to and know that she's not just there to listen, but she's there to pray and go to battle for me. And I'm very thankful for her role in my life.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I love that, man, Jesus just meets us where we are. He's so gracious and kind to do that. And so, again, if you're somebody that's like, I grew up in a Christian home, I know all the Jesus answers, man, that personal relationship is so important.
Absolutely. And I know for us with our kids, our 3 girls have all asked Jesus into their heart, and it's easy to be like, check.
Right.
But, our prayer is that it's not just the faith of our family for our kids, but that we continue to model this discipleship with them that we very much do in the discipleship ministry here at Sagemont, so that our kids know that their relationship is theirs, and theirs with God, not theirs with our family and God.
Right.
And then it just, there's so much more to reap from it when it's a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And that perfectly leads into, let's talk about Beside. Yeah. So Beside is Sagemont's mentoring ministry. It's been around 2.5, almost 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
We started it back then, and it's been so fun to get to see God use it in women's lives over the last few years. Hannah is the lead director of that ministry and has taken it from this really cool idea that Lori Cole and I were like, this is cool.
In 2020.
And, no doubt. And this whole deal. And has really taken it, your logistics and administrative and how you look at things and organize things has done wonders for this ministry and really has kept it going and taking it to where it goes. And I can't wait to see what all God's going to continue to do with it. But talk a little bit about just what is Beside. Why would someone want to be a part of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So just Beside is kind of the perfect blend of mentoring, where you come alongside of somebody you're doing life, you're loving them, and discipleship, where you're also, you are preaching Jesus to them. You're pointing them back to Jesus in all of their life circumstances. You're holding them accountable. You're praying for them. And it's become such a beautiful thing where we have women of all walks of life here at Sagemont, from high school students to very, very wise years.
Yes.
And God has just done some really powerful things in these relationships, and myself included. I have a mentor and I have a mentee, and I have been so richly blessed by those relationships over the last couple of years. With Beside, it's a 6-month commitment, so it's pretty easy to test the waters with.
Right.
You can say, okay, I'll try this out. So you come to one of our training days, you find out more about the program. If you choose to participate, we have an application you fill out. We have a really incredible team that matches our mentors and mentees together. And we say every single time when we have these matching nights that it is a worshipful experience, that God comes in and these applications that are before us, where, we really do our humanly best, but God, man, he just fills in all of the things. Even when there's times where we just don't know who the perfect mentor is for somebody. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this one right here, you know, and we get so excited about it.
Yeah.
And so it's a 6-month commitment. So at the end of the 6 months, if you and your mentee or your mentor just really meshed, you had a great connection, it was a great and beneficial time, then you are more than welcome to continue on for as long as you want. If at the end of the 6 months you realize that, you know, we are human and we aren't perfect, and while we do our best and we pray that God blesses our efforts, and there are some times that occasionally a mentor and a mentee they just don't click, and that's okay, because at the end of the 6 months you can choose to have a new one, or you can choose to take a break, or if you get into a busy season of life, all of that is okay. And it really takes the pressure off of the commitment. But what I love is more and more we see these women at the end of that 6 months saying, oh yeah, we're just going to stay together. This has been perfect. And I mean, I'm not really a data person, but we do have people fill out forms at the end of each cycle, and this past cycle that just completed, we had, I think 81% say that they were going to stay together, which is amazing. And to think really that all those relationships that God is just continuing to bless and pour out, and it's just such a special thing.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, you and I could sit here for hours and tell stories of women that came to us afterwards and said, I never would have met this person.
Yes.
We're both at Sagemont. We've both been here a long time. I never would have met this person. And they walked through exactly what I'm walking through. How did y'all know that? The Lord. The Lord knew that y'all needed to be together.
Even things that they didn't put on their application.
Absolutely, yes.
You
like
know,
things
it's easy when we
down.
see the similarities in their applications, but when it's something that they never put, it's just that shared experience, and just it gives me chills every time.
Me too. It's so fun. I mean, we've had like the young woman that's like, I'm in my residency and I'm married and I want to have children, and how in the world do we find somebody to mentor that super specific thing? And we were like, oh, look, we have this person who's a doctor now that raised a family, and oh my gosh, they're perfectly to be able to be matched together.
Absolutely.
So there's so many of those just neat stories of how, as you pray through it and decide this is what I need to do, then it's trusting God that he's going to provide that person. Now, we also know the stories of the people that have gotten matched together and it didn't work out. And that's God's work too. You know, God can work through anybody in any situation to grow you. And so taking those steps, you know, I have a mentee. She's precious and I love her. And she had a baby this summer. And it's been so fun to get to walk with her just through life, pregnancy, delivery, new baby. My husband and I got to babysit a couple nights ago, and it was the best thing ever, you know, and get to hold and squeeze this little baby. But it just, man, it's opening yourself up and saying yes to something. And there's a million reasons why we can convince ourselves we don't have time. As a mentor going, what am I going to share? What do I know? What do I have to give? Man, just ask the Lord if he says yes, be willing to step out and do it.
And you really have to take into consideration that I don't want to call it an excuse, but we do say we're busy a lot. You know, I homeschool my kids. We have dance. We have softball. We have all the things. And God still carves this time in our schedule for this every single month.
Every time. He really, really does. So all things beside, we love it. We encourage people to do it. Be a part of it. Don't let busy be your excuse for not doing something. Don't be, who am I? I'm not good enough. Come be a part of Beside. Pray about it. If it's where God wants you to be, come be a part of Beside. And something you and I are both very excited about with this new season of Beside is that we now are going to have a men's Beside. So fun. So fun. Listen, if you are somebody that's been in Beside and have reaped the benefits of being a part of that, get the men in your life to come do it as well. It's so cool. And it's so neat in talking to men about this, different men that I've gotten the privilege of just chatting with about it. They're so excited. Like they are, and y'all, a lot of our younger men are like, I can't wait to have a seasoned man be willing to pour back into me.
So seasoned men, come sign up.
Sign up. And, you know, one thing we didn't talk about when we were talking about Beside is this isn't just something we came up with. Like, this is biblical.
Absolutely.
Like, this is something in Scripture we're told to be doing. Have someone pouring into you and you being pouring out onto someone else. It's something we're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
And so now we have this great opportunity to come and do that. So it's cool to think that the men are going to get to be able to do this.
Yes. And one thing I even told my own husband, and I believe you told your husband as well, is if they're just kind of unsure about all of this, because for women, we're so relational, and it's like a no-brainer. But for guys, that idea of spending one-on-one time with another guy and talking about it's kind of weird. I told my husband, just go to training day.
Go to training day.
Just go to training day, because the beauty of it is training day commits you to nothing.
That's right.
It just informs you. However, if you do want to participate in Beside, you can't apply if you did not attend training day.
Right.
So no matter where you stand in this, come to training day. This cycle is a little bit unique in that we're actually having it on a Friday night instead of a Saturday morning. And because of that, we're allowed to provide childcare.
Yes.
And so that's really huge, because we do have those couples who have never been able to come because of Saturday morning. They might not have somebody to watch the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And so mom and dad can both come, put the kids in childcare. And also, it's okay to bring your kids that are eligible for this. Like, if you've got a teenage daughter that's a junior or senior, bring her with you.
The boys too. Juniors and seniors are able to come and participate.
Absolutely. And so it's really unique in that it's kind of a whole family thing.
It is. It totally
It's going to be special. And the food will be good, too. So
That's right. I mean, it's a Friday night. It's childcare. It's a meal. It's getting fed into. It's getting to see an opportunity. It's a win-win.
Yes.
Come to training day. And then you really can hear more about it, get some questions answered, and then make the decision whether or not you actually want to apply for it. We've had women come to training day, decide that's not the right season, and then the next cycle they don't have to go to training day, they can just apply.
Right, absolutely.
And so it's one of those, like, you only have to go to training day once. And whenever we very first started Beside, we said, this is such a special, very specific ministry. The accountability level is high for this ministry. And so we're like, we are going to have some requirements. You do need to come to training day. There is an application. We ask some hard questions.
You do need to be a member of Sagemont.
That's right. You need to be a member of Sagemont. There's just some different things like that for this ministry, this is just super important.
And this is different than being involved in a Connect class or in a Bible study or even White Flag. This is not the same kind of relationship.
That's right.
This, because it's one-on-one, you have the opportunity to really be vulnerable and transparent, ask the tough questions, and just do life together. And I know that can sound a little bit scary to some people.
Sure.
But it's only a 6-month commitment. So if you end up hating it, don't worry, the end is in sight.
And the great thing about that is you don't have to wonder if the other person is ready to jump into that deep end. Yeah. You both signed up for jump into the deep end. So jump into the deep end. So 6 months, you can go super deep, super quickly, because we've taken all of the, well, what do you want to do? We're doing this. So,
and we're not just throwing you in by yourself. We're going to be training you. We're going to be giving you resources. We're going to be available for you to ask questions along the way. We're going to be checking in. You are not at all flying solo on this.
That's right. Yeah, we have lots of great tools. Again, training day, you'll hear all about all of those things. I will say my twins that are 17 both did Beside a year ago when we first opened it up to juniors and seniors. They were juniors, and they are paired, each have a mentor. They've been with them for a whole year. Y'all, the fact that there's these other women that are speaking into my kids' life, the same stuff I say, they hear it different from this person. And y'all, their mentors, I mean, spend time with them. They're so purposeful, and they'll meet for coffee at 6:30 in the morning because that's when they all can meet, or they'll sit and go for a walk it's just that walking beside them. Yes. And these two women that are in my daughter's lives will be the person, like you talked about, that you go, that person that made a huge impact in my walk with the Lord and just how I do life.
Yeah. And I will add on to that in that, my mentee came to the baptism for one of our kids.
Yeah.
And my kids want them over for dinner, her and her husband, all the time, and they get, so excited when they're coming over. It's been not just a relationship with the two of us, but it's become a family thing. And
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, it is. It's a really, really neat thing that you can jump in and be a part of. So October 6th, Friday night, October 6th.
6:30.
At 6:30 till 9, there is childcare. It's $15 for you to attend, and then the kids are $5 a piece, up to $20 for the family, because they get dinner and all that stuff. And so you can register now. One thing to note, childcare closes, to register for childcare a week before the event.
Yes.
So don't wait till the
Don't
last
delay.
minute or you're going to miss that.
I'm going to find babysitters.
Right, you're going to get you a babysitter. So know that, please just go ahead, register, let us know you're coming so we can plan and prepare for you. It's going to be a really fun evening. And just to be clear, the men and the women won't be together on that Friday night. It's at the same time. It's all on campus, but the men are in one wing.
We don't want
to
share our desserts, honestly. That's really what it comes down to.
All the yummies.
Yes.
But so we'll all be on campus at the same time, but in different locations. If you have questions about Beside for men or women, for women, you can reach out to me or Hannah. For men, you can reach out to Jason Ryan, our men's director, and just get those questions asked, or go online, look at that. There's information online that you can read about to come and be a part of Beside. We would love to see you there.
We would. And I want to encourage you to, when I looked at our calendar, we kind of changed the dates. Originally, it was going to be a Saturday morning, as usual. We really felt called to have it on a Friday night. And I looked at our calendar, and we had a softball tournament, we had a birthday party, and I knew that Beside needed to be the priority here. And that meant finding people to take my kids to things or saying no to things and just whatever it entails. Find a way to make it here. Ask people in your life to help you get the kids to and from places if you need to be cut, out from work a tad bit early if you need to be, or whatever it may be. Just be willing to say yes to come in and finding out more about this ministry.
Absolutely. It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, so we here at Sagemont right now are in a season of prayer.
Yeah.
And so I love just asking, tell us a little bit about your prayer life.
I don't want to say I feel privileged, but I kind of do, in that prayer has always come easily to me. I'm one of those that prayer just flows through my mind. Even when I'm in child labor, like giving birth to a child, I've had prayers fill my mind.
Awesome.
And that's just something I'm so thankful the Lord has given me, because I know that's not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
But often those prayers are not very deep or very long. It's just, oh Lord, I pray for so-and-so, or Lord, be with us right now in this moment, that kind of thing. And I've really been working on fasting in prayer.
Awesome.
And that is a lesson I learned from you, actually. And over the past year, when somebody has said, I need prayer for this, I've encouraged them, and I have chosen to do so with them to fast, because I feel like that was an element missing from my prayer life. And I don't say that to brag about myself or anything, but only because I have seen the addition of fasting to my prayer life has drastically transformed my spiritual life.
That's awesome.
It's just completely changed it. And fasting can look different for everybody.
Absolutely.
But that is something that I have begun to incorporate into my prayer life, that it will be a permanent fixture in my prayer life now. And it's taken those quick little prayers and just turn them into something so rich and so meaningful and so powerful.
That's awesome. Well, and prayer and fasting go together hand in hand in Scripture all the time. And again, fasting doesn't have to be 24 hours or, there's so many different ways that you can do that.
Well, for me, fasting actually goes back to my brother was first diagnosed with cancer. My dad had asked all of us to fast every Friday when he had his radiation treatments. But at the time, I had a brand new baby that I was feeding. And so fasting from food was not realistic for me. And so I chose to fast from, phone, TV, books, and all of those things. And so there I am, every couple of hours feeding a baby with nothing to do but pray.
That's awesome.
And that was really when the Lord just started to show me the power of fasting in addition to your prayer life.
I love that. Yeah. That's such a good encouragement to all of us. Look at those things to add that stuff in. I love that. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thank you for having
me. I always love getting to hang out with you.
Yes,
it's always fun.
It is always fun.
We always have a good time. Y'all, if you see Hannah, go up, tell her hi, ask her questions. She loves
buy me coffee.
I was going to say you can buy her coffee for sure. You can buy Hannah coffee. She loves to chat. She would love to hear your story, share her story, talk with you. There's all the different things.
Yeah.
I mean, homeschool. I mean, she can talk to you about all kinds of different things, and she loves getting to do it. And y'all, come see us at Beside. We so badly want you to come and be a part of this amazing ministry that God has blessed Sagemont with. And so go get on your computer right now. Go to the events page. Go look, scroll down. October 6th, find the Beside logo. There's one for women. There's one for men.
Go ahead and register your husband while you're at it.
That's right.
Or your brother or your friend or whomever.
Yes, get yourselves both registered and come and hang out. It's going to be, and tell your friends.
Yes.
Tell your friends about it because it is a really neat thing to do.
And with that said, if
people.
you've done Beside, please help us share about it. You know, if you know somebody that would really benefit from this ministry, please share it with them.
Yeah, let them know what it's meant to you.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for hanging out with us today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time on Table Talk.
Bye.